What's up YouTube? For today's video, we're having full Pokemon Struggle Team. This one is for Patreon. If you want your theme team done, you can check it out in the description of the video under the Patreon link. Jeremy, this one is for you. Oh boy, people, this was a difficult theme team to do. Like, this took me a very, very long time. So pretty much what my goal was with this team, right, is I had to make the opponent KO themselves with Struggle. All 6 of the Pokemon, I wasn't allowed to use like Toxic or anything like that. They had to faint themselves with Struggle. So as you can imagine, this is a pretty daunting task, but I came up with some pretty interesting strategies, and I really hope you guys enjoy this one. And the question of the day is, why have you not clicked the like button yet? Come on, people! If a video deserved a like, it was this one. All right, we have a Mew here. We're swapping into the Pre-Arena. Obviously, you think I'm going to go for a Spore and trying to get the Scumbag synchronized. That is not going to be the case. So I'm starting off with my Smeargle. So I've used this Smeargle before. So firstly, we're going to trap the opponent in with Anchor Shot. That's purely for trapping purposes. And we got on this set as follows. We got Anchor Shot, Spore, Transform, and Imprison. So we've got Max Health and Max Speed EVs. So we got the Mew going for a couple of Sword Dances there, which was pretty scary because, as you know, Struggle is actually a physical type move. So it's still going to do damage if I force the opponent to struggle. So I went for the Imprison right now. Imprison actually means that they cannot use any of the same moves if I share the same moves. And since I went for a Transform, they share the same moves, so it's going to continue to struggle over and over again. And they can't swap out, right, because I trapped them in there with Anchor Shot. Now, this Mew actually was running Roost on it, which is good, so I'm going to be using Roost here. Once again, I'm not going to be doing any, like, moves to them. I want them to take themselves out completely with the Anchor Shot. All right, so we're spamming Roost here at the moment using that shiny Mew, and we've got the first victim is going to go down here, people. So this battle was 115 turns, so you guys can probably imagine that, you know, it took a very long time. We almost actually time it out in this battle. That's how long it took. Now, obviously, we're only going to be doing one battle in this video, so make sure you stick around for the whole thing. I can guarantee you'll pick up something you may not have known before, or just, you know, it's sort of like a scientific experiment. Okay, so we got the Mew going for another struggle here, and it is going to take itself out with the final struggle. So that's one Pokemon down purely to struggle. So now I've got a Mew with all these, you know, buffed up moves, but I don't want to use that. I want to force the opponent to struggle. So we've got a Chandelure coming in here. I went for the Roost again, and it's going to go for a Shadow Ball. Now, it outsped me, so that tells me straight away that it's definitely Choice Scarf, and, you know, down goes my Smeargle. So that's all right. That's fine. I got rid of one Pokemon like an eye for an eye. All right, so now we're going to go into a Spiteful. I know this thing is definitely Choice Scarf, because, you know, it outsped my Smeargle, and we're going to get a swap here on the Chandelure, which is really good. Now, this was a Pokemon that was actually played a really important role in this team. Of course, they all played really important roles, but this is a really fairly long part in the video. All right, so we're going to go for the mean look there on the Gigalith coming in, and we're going to go for the Iron Defenses. So this was a defensive wall Bishop, and we got the Gigalith coming in there, and since Gigalith's coming on, definitely know it's going to use some kind of ground type move, and here we go, guys. I'm guessing it's coming off Earthquake. It's not normally what it does. So let's go over what this set was anyway. So we got Max Health, Max Defense, right? We've got Iron Defense, as you guys already seen. We've got Mean Look, and we've got Rest, Chesto Berry, and we've got Spite. Now, Spite is a move you just rarely ever see, but in this situation, it's going to be very, very handy. Now, if you noticed, Bishop's ability is also Pressure as well, so that's actually going to make the opponent use up more PP over and over and over again. I'm not talking about the other PP. All right, so setting up another Iron Defense there. Now, Iron Defense gives you +2 in defense, so basically, you got to use it 3 times, and you're at max defense. So I'm taking the moves like very, very well. Of course, I'm running a very defensive set too. So Gigalith is trapped in by the Mean Look. I've got +3 in defense. Now I can go for Spite. So what Spite does, it takes away 4 PP on the last move used by the Pokemon. So we're going to get rid of 4 PP on Earthquake straight away. Now, also, the Gigalith is attacking me, so that is going to use up a further 2 PP there. So Earthquake just got depleted there by 6 PP. Like, so that was really good. All right, so we're going to go for the Iron Defense, just busting my defense up to max now, which is cool. Now, I thought about making this like a mixed wall, but decided let's make it like a purely defensive wall and swapping it against like physical attacking Pokemon, in this case, the Gigalith. I really like Shiny Gigalith too. It looks really cool. Okay, so we're on a low amount of health here. I'm going to go for the rest, and Chesto Berry is going to wake me up. So I thought, if I verse the, if I verse the physical wall if I verse a physical attacker and I'm a defensive wall, right, it probably wouldn't matter after, I've got +3 in defense, because I could go to sleep for 2 turns and, definitely wake up and still be able to heal off again. All right, so we got the Gigalith going for another Earthquake here. Earthquake is only doing very minimal damage, so the whole strategy now is we've got to deplete the Gigalith's PP. All right, so now we're going to go for Spite once again on the Gigalith there, and that is going to get rid of 2. If you notice, it was 2 there, right? That means it had none left. Like, it only had 2 Earthquakes left, so you can see all of its PP for Earthquake is now gone. So I also wanted to show you something there, right? I use Spite, as you guys can see, right? If the opponent hasn't, if the opponent has used all the PP up of that move and you use Spite afterwards, it will fail. So they have to use another move before Spite will kick in. Also, if they use a Z move and you use Spite afterwards, right, it's going to fail too. So some just little interesting mechanics there, if you guys didn't know that. All right, so we're going to go for the Spite here. It's going to fail again because obviously Stone Edge, I guess Stone Edge was run out of PP. And we got Rock Blast, so none of these moves can really affect Bishop except for Earthquake. So they'll kind of banking on Earthquake, Gradium Z actually taking out my Bishop. All right, so we're going to go for another Spite here. We're going to drop the PP of the Rock Blast. So we've got rid of the Earthquake already. I believe it had Stone Edge and Rock Blast. It had one other move too. So the annoying thing about Rock Blast was just like the animation. It took like a very, very long time, especially when it planted like 3+ hits on you. All right, so we're going to go for another Spite here. I kind of nicknamed all the Pokemon after my strategy too. I had a lot of battles with this team as well, like a lot of battles. So some of the strategies would work, but some wouldn't. So I get like some okay battles, but this is definitely the best battle that I had, like by an absolute mile. All right, so we got some more Rock Blast damage, which is going to do like minimal damage to my Bishop. We're going to go for another Spite here. So Spite has 16 PP at max as well. So obviously, like a 1v1 matchup like this, I'd probably use up most of my Spite. So it's pretty much good for getting rid of like one Pokemon, maybe 2, maybe really hurting a second Pokemon incoming. But usually a lot of the time after my strategy on Bishop was revealed, right, a special attacking Pokemon would just come in and like storm me. So usually it was like a one-hit trick, one-trick pony. All right, so the last move they got is Iron Head. All the other moves are now depleted. We just got to get rid of the PP on the Iron Head. Now, this part of the battle was fairly long, but man, there was one bit in this battle which was like crazy long. But we'll get to that in a second. It was rather interesting. All right, so we're getting rid of that Iron Head. We're gonna every time I must say, every time it's using Iron Head, Earthquake, right, it's depleting its PP by 2 instead of 1. So essentially, I'm getting 6 every time. So every time it uses one move, and I use my Spite, it's 6 every turn. So that's a big number, right? Even for like high PP like Pokemon moves, it goes down like really, really quick. All right, so we're gonna go for another Spite here on the Gigalith. It's getting very, very low on its PP now. I actually quite like the animation of Spite too. So Gigalith's gonna use Iron Head, but it's finally all of its PP's now gone. It can't swap out. I'm gonna go for a final rest here because I have sustained a little bit of damage there. Not that it really matters, and I thought, okay, well, Gigalith is going to have to take it itself out with Struggle. Now, Struggle mechanics. Struggle will deal damage to the user. It's a very low, I think it's 40 base power. It's typeless, and it will also get rid of like a quarter of your health basically every time. So it's a horrible, horrible move. Now, Struggle can be boosted by stat boost like, Sword Dance, Belly Drum, but apart from that, it's got absolutely zero benefit. It is an awful, awful move. Alright, so we're going to just be sleeping on a job, which is all good. Bishop's job is done, right? It is absolutely done. So now I'm already thinking, at this stage of the battle, I was thinking, okay, that Chandelure is probably going to come in after this and, go for some kind of fire move. I actually don't really mind. I've got another Pokemon I could swap into it, but it is a little bit risky, right? Now, the good thing about Chandelure is actually Choice Lock, so it's got that Choice Scarf. Anyway, so finally, Gigalith is going to faint them. Shiny Pride Rock people. And, of course, the Chandelure is going to come in. So, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, something like that is definitely coming my Bishop's way. I'm going to go for the Spite here. And we got a Flamethrower coming from the Chandelure. And with Chandelure's Thumping Special Attack, Spiteful, my Bishop is definitely not going to take that. And, of course, I'm not running a special defensive set. Not that it probably mattered. All right, so now we're going to go into Tricked, which is my Slow King. Let's go over what this set is. So running on my Slow King set, we got the EVs as follows. So we got max health, max special defense, and we got a Jolteon coming in. So I was running more of a special set, and on the swap, I actually went for the Trick. So I've got Choice Band in this one. So we want to lock the opponent into having one move, right? So that was an important step in this. I actually get an air balloon, which is kind of, neither here nor there. So we got charge beam. Charge beam's going to miss, so they're locked into using charge beam. I'm going to go for the block here, right? We're going to do a little high five with Jolteon. So Jolteon now is blocked in. It can't swap out. It is only locked into using charge beam. However, the strategy does not end there. So we've got another charge beam hit. Jolteon is going to get a special attack boost, so I've got to get rid of this thing like soon. I'm going to go for Disable here, so I'm going to disable its only move. So the only move it can use, right, was charge beam. So now that its only move is actually disabled, it's going to have to go for Struggle, right? It's Struggle Lock, so that's awesome. So Struggle's not going to do too much. And of course, we've got the recall damage of Struggle going all over again. And my recovery move, of course, is Slack Off. So that was perfect. The ability I've got in this one is Regenerate as well, in case I need to, like, swap this out, tank a couple of hits. Maybe I could have swapped into the Chandelure there and, regenerated off or something like that, but I thought, Bisharp was sort of like, it was already revealed, and I had a little bit of Spite PP left. All right, so the Jolteon is up. It's trapped. It cannot do anything. So so far we've trapped in the Mew, we've trapped in the Gigalith. Both of them have fainted to Struggle, and Jolteon cannot do it. It cannot do anything at all, right? I mean, the only thing that would happen would be if Disable actually ran out. Then you could just go for Disable like right again, right? So that was fine. So Jolteon is going to go for its final Struggle here, and Jolteon's attack is not very big either. It's more of a special attacker, and it's not going to do much damage to a Slowking. So Jolteon's down. We've taken half the team out with Struggle. This is hype. All right, so we're going to go for the Slack Off here, and just getting a little bit of recovery left. All right, so we got the Chandelure coming in here. This is a Choice Scarf Chandelure, as we guys seen earlier on the game. So I know this thing's probably going to be packing Shadow Ball. It goes for a Trick instead. So this is a bit of a pain, right? Because it's actually going to get rid of its Choice Scarf, and it's going to get it's going to get nothing. So it just gave me its Choice Scarf, which was really annoying. I went for the Disable there. So if that still had its Choice Scarf, right, it would have actually struggled. So obviously they knew what I was doing, and the Shadow Ball is going to hit me really hard too. So I'm locked into Choice Scarf, Disable. They're going to get a special defense drop too. Not that it really mattered. Slowking is wasted. It can't do anything. It's definitely going to go down to Chandelure. So that was a good play there, getting around my Choice Scarf with the Trick. That was quite unfortunate. This Chandelure is actually a very, very dangerous Pokemon against my team. It's actually very strong to most of my team. All right, so now we're going to go into the Gengar here, which is going to be Mega Gengar. Now, we're running Mega Gengar purely for its ability when it Mega Evolves, so Shadow Tape. So on this set, we've got Spite, Pain Split, Torment, and we've got Max Health and Max Speed, and we've got Grudge. So Grudge is my go-to here. I'm going to go for the Grudge. I've got to sack off my Mega Gengar here. I'm hoping it'll go for the Shadow Ball and stay in, which it does. So what happens with Grudge, right? I outsped the Chandelure. If you use Grudge right and you faint, if they actually cause you to faint, it will deplete all of the PP of that one move. It's a big sacrifice, but in this battle, right, I really needed that Shadow Ball absolutely gone. So now we're going to go into the Dusknoir. Mega Gengar did its job very nicely there. This could possibly go for some other moves, but it's going to actually swap out. I didn't really matter, it didn't actually worry me too much if it stayed in or swapped out. So we're going to go for the Trick here. So I'm going to be tricking an item. Let's go over what this Dusknoir set was. This Dusknoir set was Trick, Choice Scarf, and I get a Life Orb. So I was trying to give the Chandelure back. The only thing about versing that Chandelure was I couldn't actually trap it in with Mean Look. So it's quite a good thing that it actually did swap. So Moonblast does some pretty good damage to my Dusknoir. We're going to go for the Mean Look there, trapping in the Preliminary. So it's very important you trap the opponent in, right? Otherwise, if you do Choice Lock them or lock them into using one move, they can just easily get out of that by swapping out. So it's very, very important to be able to trap the opponent in. So the second Moonblast hits me really, really hard, just getting off the Disable on the Preliminary. Let's go over what this set was. It's kind of similar to the Slowking. So we got Trick, Mean Look, Disable, and Pain Split. Pretty much the same kind of concept there, just a different Pokemon. But this ability has Pressure too, so it's going to use up some more moves. All right, so I tanked that. I tanked that. That Struggle there from the Primarina. I go for a Pain Spit, just get some health back there. And now we've got Primarina continually going for the Struggle here. The next Struggle is going to take it out. We're going to go for the Disable. There's really nothing I can actually do with my Dusknoir. I'm down to 2 more Pokemon, which is going to make things a little bit of a struggle. All right, so Primarina is down, but people, this part of the battle was the absolute longest. This next bit went for about 35 to 40 turns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what was going on then. I'm probably going to do a little cut, and then we're going to go back to it. All right, so we got the Venusaur. It's going to be, of course, it's going to be Mega Venusaur. So things are running through my head already. I was thinking, Okay, Toxic, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to try and actually take out with struggle. So first things first, the Venusaur is going to go for the Toxic against my Dusknoir, which was a bit of a pain in the butt. So we got the Toxic up on my Dusknoir. I'm going to go for Disable. Straight away, I want to disable whatever move it uses, and, you know, that is going to be the Toxic. So that's fine. I mean, it can't use Toxic against my last Pokemon, which I'll reveal very soon. So, the combination of my last Pokemon and this Venusaur was absolutely crazy. So, Dusknoir's going to go down to the Giga Drain, which was really disappointing. I would have loved to, you know, be able to live that one, but that wasn't the case. So, I'm down to my last Pokemon. I've still got 2 more Pokemon to actually come up against. So, this set was all based around the move Torment. So, if you guys don't know what Torment is, I'm going to fill you in right now. Alright, so we got the Leech Seed. Now, Leech Seed, that move there, Leech Seed, made this matchup go for 40 turns. It was at least 40 turns. Alright, so Venusaur's going to get some health recovery back with the Leech Seed. I've got my Gothitelle. So Gothitelle gets Shadow Tag, which is a really, really nice ability. So on this set, this is as follows. We got Rest. We've got Recycle. We've got Chesterberry. We've got the Shadow Tag ability. We've got Torment and Taunt. So this is a Taunt Torment combo. So the idea is to trap the opponent in, which we have a Shadow Tag, right? Firstly, we wiggle our little finger and go for the Taunt. So that's going to only make them use attacking moves, right? Such as Giga Drain or Sludge Bomb. And then we can go for Torment. So that means they can't use that attacking move, you know, consecutively. They have to use, like, say they only got one move, which is like Giga Drain in this case, right? It's going to have to struggle the second turn. So that's going to make the opponent struggle. Now, the problem with this against the Venusaur was, in strategy, it was quite sound. But this Venusaur had, like, lots of ways to recover. It had Leech Seed and it had Giga Drain. So it didn't really work as well as I wanted it to. Like, it made this a very, very difficult matchup. Now, the good thing about my Gothitelle... Oh, this was the EVs for it. Max Health, Max Special Defense. So it was very, very bulky. The good thing about this is I had Rest and I had Recycle. So if I use Toxic, I could rest off completely. Then I can recycle back my Chesterberry so I can continually just, you know, heal myself off over and over and over and over again. So it was a very, like, long strategy. But really, I'm looking at the rest of my team. I really did need my Gothitelle. This was definitely the... Out of this whole team, the Mega Venusaur and the Chandelure were the biggest problems to actually come up against. Chandelure was mainly a problem because it took out a lot of my team. Like, it one-shotted a lot of my team. It was very scary. I had to actually sack one of my Pokemon completely, being my Mega Gengar, which, you know, was quite a good Pokemon, and I really only used, like to use Grudge when I knew I was going to, you know, get fainted. And since I was, you know, a very speedy Mega Gengar, I could try and get off my strategy before that would happen. Then, if a Pokemon came in, I could use Grudge then. But in this case, I had to use it right away, which definitely put me at a big disadvantage. So we're going to go for another Recycle where you guys can see what's kind of happening here. It's been 3,000 years. I'm going to cut out about 30 turns there. So we're getting down now. The main defining point of this matchup, right, was... In the end, right, obviously I started to figure out that, you know, struggling this Venusaur isn't a really good idea, right? Because the main way to beat this Venusaur now is to get rid of all its Giga Drains. And all of its other moves are status moves, right? So I need to get rid of those Giga Drains. Me making the opponent struggle, I couldn't change Torment, obviously, which was kind of a shame. But me, like, going for the Taunt and Torment... it really wasn't the greatest thing to do, right? Because then the Venusaur would not use up its Giga Drains, it would use its statusy moves, and it would continue to, like, stall me out even longer. Now, my rests were actually getting quite low. My recycles were starting to get low here. I was actually getting PP stalled out badly myself. So this was a horrible, horrible matchup at the moment. So what I was doing is I was just basically just healing off and using Torment, because Torment was, you know, it was just like a free PP that I could use here. All right, so the Venusaur is starting to struggle itself. Leech Seed made this so annoying because the Leech Seed would, like, keep giving its health back, and you know, the Taunt would the Taunt would actually wear off, so it wouldn't go for Giga Drain. You know, it would go for other moves. That made it even longer at this point. So Venusaur is slowly starting to get down here. This Leech Seed, man, if I could have stopped it from using Leech Seed, which in actuality I probably couldn't have, but if I could have stopped it from using it earlier on, maybe I could have sped it up a little bit, but it was a very, very good counter to this at the same time. So Venusaur getting some more Leech Seed damage some more Leech Seed healing back. Man, guys, this was such a long battle. Like, holy moly. All right, so we're going to go for another struggle here. It's struggling. So I was hoping, you know, I can take it out with these struggles and then, you know, get rid of that Chandelure. So my plan with the Chandelure, I'm going to start to tell you what my thought process was. I was thinking, okay, I'm definitely going to be able to get around the Venusaur, but the problem is I'm only going to have like a limited amount of rest and recycles left. Now, if you guys remember, that Chandelure also has Trick, so it could possibly trick away my Chesto Berry, so I couldn't actually, you know, use rest. Oh, I could use rest, but then I wouldn't wake up, right? So that was problematic too. Or it could just go ham and attack me with Flamethrower, which is a problem too. And I hadn't actually seen what its other special moves were. All right, so we got the Venusaur going for a struggle. One more struggle is actually going to take it off, going for a rest in. Now, at this point, I think I had about 6 rests left, and same with Recycle. So I was starting to get very low. Pretty much I was thinking, I've got to go for the Taunt and Torment on the Chandelure and just, you know, rest it out pretty much and, you know, try and stall it out. Because we know already, right, that we got rid of Shadow Ball, which was his main stab. Its other stab was Flamethrower. We'd seen it had Trick, and I hadn't seen what its other move was. I was thinking maybe Energy Ball, that's like another move it could run, or possibly a Hidden Power. That was what I was thinking, you know, at this point in the game. So we're getting some more toxic damage. Obviously, the Venusaur is just trying to conserve PP here. They made, they were really trying to storm me out at the end here. All right, so the Venusaur's getting some more Leech Ray recovery. I could have showed you the entire thing, but I thought, nah, I'm not going to because, man, that was such a long bit. That was nearly half the battle. All right, so Venusaur only needs 2 more struggle to go down. It's going to go for a struggle here. The good thing about struggle, it's not really doing too much damage to my Gothitelle. But with the struggle, the toxic, and the Leech Seed, I really had to use rest quite often. So going for another recycle there, getting back my final one. Venusaur's going to get another round of Leech Seed there. Man, Leech Seed. I was doing that calculation or thinking about afterwards. If that didn't have Leech Seed right, I would have taken it out in probably half the time. All right, so Venusaur is going to go for another struggle here. I'm going to live that one. It didn't actually take itself out. I was hoping it would. Going for a desperate rest here. I think at this point I was down to about 4 maybe, something like that. It was very, very close. I can't remember the quite exact numbers, but it was extremely close. And I'm going to eat my Chesto Berry again. So what I was thinking in going in battle with the Chandelure, I need to have my Recycle Berry. I need to have my Chesto Berry already recycled, good to go, right? I didn't want to be wasting a turn using Recycle against the Chandelure. All right, so finally, Mega Venusaur goes down to the struggle. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And we're going to get a Recycle off on its KO, which was really, really nice. So we're all fresh and ready to go. We're not super fresh, but I think at this size, I was like, I've just got enough PP to actually take this Chandelure out and, you know, make it struggle itself. All right, so straight up, instead of going for Trick, it's going to go for a Flamethrower, which I kind of saw coming. Flamethrower actually doesn't do a lot because I'm very, very bulky. So I get the Torment off, which is really good. So Torment's great because that actually, you know, it lasts the entire game, right? It doesn't actually wear off. So we got the Leech Seed up. Unfortunately, we got the freaking Leech Seed. Chandelure's going to have Hidden Power. So, like, okay, if this is neutral, I'm definitely going to live it. And I get critical hit right at the end. Right at the end. Oh, I'm so salty. Oh, I tried so hard, guys. I don't think I'll get a better battle than that of showcasing these sets off. I really hope you enjoyed it. If any video deserved a like and a subscribe, it was this one. And, man, if you enjoyed this, make sure you share it everywhere. And, man, I'll see you guys next time. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, I'm on my first day of holiday at the moment, so I won't be back for a week. I tried so hard, people. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.